Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे।
पवित्र पवित्र सर्वावस्थं गतोऽप्यय स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सभायं तरसुचे केशवान् वा अच्युतान् वा अनन्तान् वा हस्ताप्रक्षालनं समर्पयामि। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। कुशस्थितो ब्रह्मा कुस्मरे जनार्दन, कुशस्थितो देवा त्रयो देवा कुशस्थितां पवित्रेस्तु वैष्णव्यो सवितो त्रिना नमो नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Taking flowers in your hands, let us pray. As we pray to Bhagwan Vishnu on this night auspicious and dedicated to your worship, O Bhagwan, we invite your presence not only on this physical altar but the altar of our hearts. Please come, accept our puja, we beg of you. Hari Om Shri Ganesha Namah, Shri Saraswati Namah, Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Govinda Namo Namah. Shuklam Bharadram Deva Shashi Varanam Chaturbhuja Prasanna Varanam Jai Sarva Viganupashantaye. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. We offer. We ignite the flames in our ears. Om Deepa Jyotir Para Brahma Deepa Jyotir Janadhara Deepo Haratame Papam Deepo Yambrati Gretam Shubham Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Sukasam Param Mama Shatru Vinasha Deepa Jyotir Namostute Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradani Mantra Murti Sara Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. We bathe our murtis with water, with milk. Om Panchamritmya Datta Grihana Parameshwara. Om Sheetalam Nirmalam Karpure Svasitam Achmanamya Datta Grihana Parameshwara. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mrityastani Swaram Snanam Samarpyami. Papoham Papakarmam Papatam Pundarekaksha Trahimam Pundarekaksha Sarva Papa Haro Hari Punatu Punatu Mrityastani Swaram Snanam Samarpyami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे.
We offer clothing to Bhagwan. Ved Suktam Samayuktam Yagyashama Samanvite Sarve Prade Deva Vasisi Prade Gretam Sarva Bhushatike Lumya Lakja Nivarana Mayupakar Vasram Upavasram Prade Gretam. We offer the Yagyopavitam Paramam Pavitram Stapitam Purusam Tatani Ayushamugram Pratimunsha Shubram Yagyopavitam Balamastu Teja Trembakam Yajame Sugandim Pushtivardanam Urvarukame Vandana Prityor Mukshamamritar. We offer Chandan and perfume. May you illumine the path of our lives. May you rid us of lust and anger and hatred and jealousy and ego and pride. Guide us onto the pathway of salvation, we beg of you, Bhagwan Krishna. Listen to our prayer. Om Chandanam Sulalitam Deva Kante Chamuktavali Gopa Sri Paridevi Jayate Gopala Churamani. Om Sri Kanda Chandanam Dipyam Gandharyo Sumanohara Vilepanam Surasreshtam Chandanam Pratigretam Chandanam Samarpyami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om perfume Gandadwara Dura Darsham Nitya Pushpa Karishinim Ishwaram Tamaho Sri Gandadanam Samarpyami. Gandadanam Prati Gretam. Om Namo Bhagavate वासुदेवाय. Palimala Dravya, Hardi, Sindur. We offer Hardi for purification. We offer Sindur, bring for Mukti, salvation. May you be pleased with us. Om Kumkumam Kantim Dibya Kamini Kamart Sambhava Kumkumam Archnam Deva Prasiddha Purushottama Haridraya Sarvaso Bhagrani Sarvalankar Muktami Devi Tvam Brate Gretam Devi Tvam Brate Gretam. We offer Sindur, bring for Mukti, salvation. Sindhuram Shobhanam Rakta Sobhagi Sukhavardhanam Kamaram Moksharam Cheva Sindhuram Brati Gretam Sindhuram Shashobhanam Rakte Sobhagi Prevardhanam Kamaram Moksharam Cheva Sindhuram Brati Gretam. We offer strands of dukkha. May you root away all our troubles, all our problems, all distresses, we beg of you. Kandat Puro Hante Puruka Purushaspare Evanu Turve Pratanu Nashate Na Chahate Komaladanam Samarpyami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We offer Belva leaves. Through these leaves we offer lives at your feet. For your children, please have compassion on us. Om Kasi Vasi Sivasinim Kalabhairo Pujatam Koti Kanya Mahadanam Belapatra Shivarpanam. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We offer the neem leaves. Through these leaves we offer all bitterness, all sickness, all distresses. May you be pleased with us. Om Ambe Ambike Ambalike Namanyati Kaschana Sasrabhadrakam Apil Sabhadrakam Apil Vasinim Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Dayarupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. We wave the arti. Om Yani Kani Japapani Jammandargatani Tani Tani Prachana Prachana Prade Prade Deepam Darshami Deepam Samarpyami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naivedyam. We make the offering of our parsad. Hari Om Sri Vishnavi Namah. Om Sri Vishnavi Namah. Om Sri Vishnavi Namah. May you accept our parsad. We have prepared this parsad with faith, with love and with conviction. O Bhagwan Vishnu, listen to our prayer. Hari Om Brahmarpanam Brahmave Brahmagalo Brahmanahutam Brahmagatena Gantavyam Brahmakarma Samarinam Naivedam Nivedyami Naivedam Samarpyami Naivedam Brate Gretam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Gita Ganga Gati Sita Satya Saraswati Brahma Vidya Brahma Valitri Sanya Mukteni Artamata Chidananda Bhavagani Vainashini Vedatre Parananda Tattvartagyan Manjali. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Brahmarpanamastu. Om Sri Krishnarpanam. Hare Ram Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
We offer supari, we offer clove. May you bless us with longevity and good health, we beg of you. Listen to our prayer, O Bhagwan Vishnu. Listen to our prayer. Pungi palamya deva nagamali dala yukta ilal chunatam tambulam brati gretam lavankarpura sanyuktam tambulam surpujate lavankarpura sanyuktam tambulam brati gretam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Nilali ki jai. Achman, we offer drops of water. Om Achmanamya Datta Grihana Parameshwara. Om Ganga Jamuna Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Achmanam Brati Gretam. Achmanam Samarpyami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We offer Dakshina. हिरण्यागर्भसमर्थिताग्रे भूतस्य जाता प्रतिरिकयासि सदाधारं पृथिवीं नव दक्षिणादानम् अहं करिष्ये शुभं करोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्परं मम शत्रुविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दक्षिणादानं समर्पयामि दक्षिणादानं प्रतिगृहीताम् ॐ श्री विष्णवे नमः। We offer malas, we offer flowers, symbolic of our love to Bhagwan, to Paramatma. May you be pleased with us. Om Mallityarini Sugandhini Mallityarini Ve Prabhu Mayatani Pujatam Pushpani Pratigretam Lokabhiramam Ranarangaridam Rajevanitram Raghuvansanatam Karanyarupam Karunakarantam Sri Ramachandram Sirishanamami. Om Mallityarini Sugandhini Mallityarini Ve Prabhu Mayatani Pujatam Pushpani Pratigretam. We offer flowers around our dear. We chant together. Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi Namostute. Hare Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
At this time we join in expressions of welcome by our President.
Sitaram everyone. On behalf of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation and Pandit Sunil Seetahal, we'd like to welcome everyone tonight to our Bhagwat Saptaha Yagna. It is indeed a blessing and a privilege for all of us to be here, and we, the members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, has realized that it's only with prayer and with surrendering to that divine source that we can get through the turbulent time that we are in. So tonight, let us look forward to all we can learn and practice and put into practice. Sitaram, and thank you.
उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, अयोध्या राम लला की जय, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, पुरेसा जगन्नाथ की जय, बोलो बे सब संतने की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, शरणम। खड़ा हो जाए, आरती लीजिए। Let us all stand as we join in the opening aarti. Shubham karotu kalyanam arogyam sukhasamparam mama shatru vinashaya deepajyotirnamostute asato ma satagamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurmamritam gamaya mrityurmamritam gamaya. जय 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 भागवतम, जय 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 भागवतम,
जय 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 भागवतम, जय 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 भागवतम,
जय 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 भागवतम, जय 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 भागवतम,
जय 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 भागवतम, जय जय भागवतम,
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती,
जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला,
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला,
हरि गान यही वरदान यही,
हरिदान यही वरदान यही,
जग की मंगल की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती,
जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
शांति दीप पावन पुनीत पाको पुनीता निवाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला,
ये शांति दीप पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला,
हे सुख करनी हे दुख हरनी,
ये सुख करने ये दुख हरने,
ये मधुसूदन की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती,
जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ये मधुर बोल जगपंत कोल, सन्मान दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला,
ये मधुर बोल जगपंत बोल, सन्मान दिखाने वाला, बिगड़े को बनाने वाला,
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही,
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही,
सबकी महिमा की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती,
जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती,
जय 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 भागवतम, जय 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 भागवतम,
जय 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 भागवतम, जय जय भागवतम,
हे नंद नंद गोपाल, आनंद नंद गोपाल,
हे नंद नंद गोपाल, आनंद नंद गोपाल,
नंद नंद गोपाल, आनंद नंद गोपाल,
हे 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 नंद नंद आनंद नंद यदु नंद नंद गोपाल,
हे नंद नंद आनंद नंद यदु नंद नंद गोपाल,
हे नंद नंद गोपाल, आनंद 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 नंद गोपाल।
वृंदावन मेरे लाल की जय, सच्ची सनातन धर्म की जय। आसन पर बैठे, let us all please be seated. This evening, as we propitiate worship, we pay obeisance at the lotus-like feet of all our Brahman Devatas. We pay obeisance at the lotus-like feet of all of you who came. To those of you who are listening and viewing us, we say welcome. To our kind and corporate sponsors, we express sentiments of gratitude and expressions of thanks. And so this evening, as we are about to listen to the beautiful Katha that comes from the Bhagwat Mahapuran, we've been privileged and blessed today to listen to two beautiful Kathas. Blessed were those who were here, and even more blessed were those who were absent. We listened to the difference between what is the Bhagwat Mahapuran and what is the Bhagwat Gita. And we have recognized that in the Bhagwat Gita, it is a discussion between Bhagwan Shri Krishna and Arjuna. But in the Bhagwat Mahapuran, it is the Leelas of Bhagwan Vishnu. One is a discussion and the other is song, singing of the Leela. In our 2 o'clock session, we have listened to what are the do's and the don'ts while having and hosting the Bhagwat Yagna. What are the things that we should do and the things that we should not do? This evening, the Bhagwat Mahapuran is about to begin. And so this evening we listen to the beautiful Katha. Through a vehicle, through a vessel, you and I, we are privileged to listen to Bhagwat Katha. Who is this vehicle? This evening the Katha will tell us. But let us bow our heads in prayer as we chant the mantras of Avahan, invocation, as we pray. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Shri Ganeshanam, Aim Saraswate Nam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Adorations at the lotus-like feet of Lord Ganesh, the remove of all obstacles, the bestow of all successes. We bow to you, O Lord Ganesh. Listen to our prayer. Viganeshwaraya Varadaya Surapraya Lambodharaya Sakalaya Jagathitaya Nagasrutyagya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutaya Gananath Namo Namaste Gam Ganapataye Namah. हे माता सरस्वती, आपको बारंबार नमस्कार करता हो, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम करता हो. I bow to you thousands and thousands of times, asking you, O Mata, may you bless me with wisdom and intelligence. O goddess of speech, may you bless me with divine intellect and speech. Mata Saraswati, goddess of music, may you bless all musicians. And so, Uma, may you take control, we beg of you. Saraswati Namastubhya Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Karpure Goram Karunavataram Sansari Saram Bhujagindraharam Sadavasantam Hidayaravinne Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namami Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Bhagwat Sumiran. Riddhi Siddhi Data Siddha Saran Varan Varena Sumiro Barambar Madan Karan Ki Laal Ko Ganapati Kripa Nidan Jnana Kani Ananda Bhavana Dehu Mohi Varidan Varinu Masha Bhagavata Jai Shivanand Kan Bhutnath Bhabe Harena Bhakti Vishay Nirdhan Gauravaran Mangal Karina He Braj Chandra Mukund Braj Bhushan Dushan Harena Katho Bhav Bepan Charana Sharan Niyanikara Jaya 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 Jagadish Sweet Sesh Mahesh Yaja Mahima Mitayave Ved Ved Janat Nahi Dehu Mohi Varidan Radha Vadaya Vadasada Prem Parim Sikan Nit Chit Me Kati Kati Rahe मोही चाहिए कचुना और वास्तु प्रभु जग की बस ही रे मन में या बाकी जानकी सदा लीन कुटिया गायन के पीछे फिरत वाल पालनी सा मोर मुकुट सिर पर डरे कर मुरली उड़मान, शेष मुकुट कई पीठ पता, या चबिसो नंदना, बस हुए दे मम ऋषि दिवस। गुरु पर रज दर्शी, करहु भागवत की कथा, जो सुकदेव मुनि कई परीक्षित निरपति सोय। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर सुरार बरनो रघुबर विमल यश, जो दायक पलजा, बोधहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार बलभूत विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र जी की जय शरणम, उमापति महादेव की जय। Clap and sing with me, everybody. चित चोटा यशोदा की बार, नवनीत चोरे गोपाल,
चोरा यशोदा की बार, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
चित चोटा यशोदा की बार, नवनीत चोरे गोपाल,
चित चोरा यशोदा की बार, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
We listen to them about how Bhagwat Gita is geared at giving us the inspiration to guide us into this existence, this human existence. Through this discussion that is happening between Arjuna and Bhagwan Krishna. But in the Bhagavad Mahapuran, it is preparing us, it is preparing not us, but our soul for that time when we will stand in front of Paramatma. Have you given thought that one day we will all die? And our body will remain behind, but our soul will stand accountable to Bhagwan, to Paramatma. One of the ways of preparing your soul for when that will come is by listening to the glories of the Bhagavad. It is by performing worship in the Bhagwat Yagna. Our president stuttered when she was saying Saptaha. Bhagwat Saptaha Yagna. By sitting here for 7 days and 7 nights and listening and singing of the glories of Bhagwan, we are preparing not our body but our souls. It tells us that when the kirtan is being sung, we clap our hands. You know why? It is one of the ways of waking ourselves up, activating all of the organs in the body and getting them rejuvenated, excited. You know why? To receive the katha, to receive the nectar out of scripture. When kirtan is being sung, clap. And if you are afraid that the person next to you will see you, close your eye. Sing. And if you are afraid that the person next to you will hear you, close your eye. Get up and dance. And if you are afraid anybody will look at you and laugh at you while you are dancing, close your eye. But kirtan is your way of preparing yourself to receive what has to come out of scripture. When we go to the party, there is no shame in clapping and singing and dancing. There is no shame in taking off your clothes and waving it in the sky. If the very same rain was falling in the party and you were outdoor, you didn't mind, isn't it? But the rain fall and you're in the Yajna Shala sheltered and you're feeling cold, shaking. Let us make a joyful noise unto Bhagwan as we prepare our minds and our souls to listen to the Bhagavad Katha. Everybody sing with me. Chitte choda yashoda ki baan, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोपी बाला। गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली ज्ञान लोला।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोपी बाला। गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली राध लोला।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
चित चोरा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
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 In the Bhagavad Katha, before we go into the Bhagavad, in the Mahabharata, there is a war happening. And the war is happening between the Kondavas and the Pandavas. The Kondavas and the Pandavas, they're related and they're relatives. But they are fighting. You know why they're fighting? They're fighting for land and possession and the things of the world. Sounding familiar? They're fighting for land and riches and the things of the world. But the fight between the Kondavas and the Pandavas doesn't end in the Mahabharata. It continues long after the Mahabharata and is mentioned in many of the other Puranas and in other scriptures. When will fighting ever come to an end? When will the fight come to an end? In our 2 o'clock session, I said with no apology to my president, who said to me that life is short and you should forgive and forget and move on. And she's telling me this. And I'm saying sometimes you forgive, but you cannot forget. Because of the hurt, because of the pain that is caused, you cannot forget. It is only human to remember. And she says, well then, love the people who have done you wrong. And I say, sometimes it is easier said than done. Maybe I should stop preaching that, because even I can't do that. It is only human. In the Mahabharata, the war between the Kondavas and the Pandavas doesn't come to an end. In the Bhagwat Mahapuran, it says that the descendants of the king Drona and Dhritarashtra, they have descendants, children and grandchildren. And news has reached to the ears of the Kondavas that in the Pandava clan, a baby will be born. And this brings upset. It brings great anger. knowing that an heir to the throne might be born, and it might be a boy. For the boy children are the children who carry on the lineage and the legacy of the family. In scripture, it talks about how blessed you are to have a son. In real life, it shows and it proves many times how cursed you are to have a son. Because while you have children, and you think that your children will be of your support, then many a times you realize that your children the Bhagwat Puran begins to tell us. Listen, let us all sing together the chant, and so we'll read the verses of the canto. Bolo Sri Seetahal 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 Jai Siyavar Ram.
Seetahal 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 Jai Siyavar Ram.
Bolo Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jai Siyavar Ram.
Shuklambaranam Vishnu Shashivaranam Chaturbhuja Prasannavaranam Dhyayet Sarvavighanopashante Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shardarupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Paramatmaye Krishnaya Govinda Namo Namah Paramatmaye Ramaye Govinda Namo Namah Varnanam Arthi Sanganam Rasanam Chandrasamapi Mangalanam Chakartaro Bande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Bande Shraddha Vishwasvarupino Yabhyam Vinana Pashante Siddhaswantastameshwaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bolo Seetahal 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 Jai Siyavar Ram. Bolo
Seetahal 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 Jai Siyavar Ram.
Bolo Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jai Siyavar Ram.
श्री विष्णवे नमः. उत्तर और अभिमन्यु का जानते पृथ्वी पर देने करने वाले, तब सभी का उसके का ब्रह्मस्त्र निषाद करने वाले, और अपने माता गर्भी का भगवान कृष्णा की दानव बच्चे का गए होते करने वाले, वा में अर्जुन का पूत हो गया करने, जो जिसमें का राक्षस विष्णु की रक्षा विष्णु की कृष्णा रूप में धरने वाले. बोलो सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम.
सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम.
बोलो राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम.
राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम.
In the Katha, it talks about a wife whose name is Uttara. And Uttara is married or wedded her husband. His name is Abhimanyu. And Uttara and Abhimanyu, both of them, they in family way. They're about to have a child. And so news spreads like wildfire that a baby is about to be born in this parivar, this family. Scripture has taught us, and even our doctors say to you, that in the initial stages of pregnancy, you should keep your pregnancy private. Have you ever heard that before? Have you ever heard that before? Because not everybody will wish you well. Not everybody will wish the unborn baby well. Scripture has taught us that when you're in family way, you should never choose the name of the baby until the baby is. Let me just say that again. You should never name the baby before the baby is. And many other things it tells us. But Uttara and Abhimanyu, in family way, the senior of the clan that is against them, whose name is Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama knows that his baby will be the heir of the throne. And so Ashwatthama, being as senior as he is, he has power. Why? He is blessed to have the astra, the arrow of Brahma, Brahmastra, a very powerful weapon. And so knowing that Uttara is in family way, Ashwatthama decides to do something. What will he do? Listen, it tells us. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Siyavar Ram. Bolo.
Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Siyavar Ram.
जब अश्वत्थामा की ब्रह्मास्त्र निषाद करने वाले और वह अपनी का माता गर्भी का भगवान कृष्णा की दांडव बचे गया होते करने रक्षा हो श्री नारायण वचन करने वाले, जिसमें पहले के भगवान कृपा निदान होते, कृपा निदान करने होते. Ashwatthama, he uses his Brahmastra and he aims it in the direction of Uttara, with the hope of this astra destroying not Uttara, but destroying the fetus in the womb of Uttara. And so the fetus in the womb, would you consider the fetus in the womb to be sinful or pure? Hello? Were you born into the world with sin, or did you come pure? I don't know. I don't know what your interpretation of that is, but I have an interpretation. They say you were born without sin and you came into the world, but then when you are suffering, they say it's because of your karma in your past life. Then how will karma affect you after you are born, but then when you were born pure and clean and with a clean slate? Then we are contradicting what we say. Then we are contradicting what we believe. This cycle of the soul never ends unless there is mukti, unless there is salvation. And so, aiming the astra, shooting the astra in the direction of Uttara, what will happen? Uttara, she knows that something is wrong. But what will happen? Uttara is pure and she is noble and she is divine and she is godlike. Can we use those words to describe ourselves? Pure, noble, godlike. When we see each other, we say, oh God, isn't it? You're reminded of God. And so Uttara, being noble and pious as she is, Bhagwan Vishnu sees what is happening. And so what will he do? Listen, Lord Vishnu intervenes. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Siyavar Ram. Bolo.
Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Siyavar Ram.
Bolo. Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jai Siyavar Ram.
जो देख जिसमें का शिशु का रक्षा करने वाले, भगवान विष्णु के कृष्णा रूप करने वाले, देखो जिसमें का पहले विष्णु धारण से संचित करने वाले, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. In the womb of Uttara, Bhagwan Vishnu, he goes and he manifests himself, and so he creates a shield around the womb of Uttara, and creating this shield, he is protecting the unborn baby from the weapon that was shot. What does the Garupran say or tell us about what happens to the fetus in the womb? What does it say? It says that in the womb of our mother, there are many experiences that are experienced. The Garupran says, the soul recognizes as it enters into the fetus in the womb that it is being shielded by Bhagwan, by God. But the soul recognizes that the womb is very dark. There are two places very dark, you know. The womb and the tomb. Have you given thought to that? The womb is very dark and the tomb is very dark. Unless you probably get somebody to hook up a solar light for you down there. But then how you will know when it goes dead? Dead like you too. And so in the womb, the soul begs. Every one of us, our soul begs. You know what our soul says? Set me free, set me free. I do not want to be trapped in here, set me free. The Garupan says, the soul makes many vows and promises to Bhagwan Vishnu. Bhagwan Vishnu, who you can identify, who you can see, whom you recognize. The soul says, set me free, and when I come into the world, I will do seva. Set me free, and when I come into the world, I will sing your praises, and I will worship you. Set me free, and every breath that I take, I will remember you. But the Garupan says that from the time you make that first cry, you forget all those promises. It's like the government never paved no road in all the years. And 1 month before the election, you see smooth road and you go and vote them back. But you see road and you vote based on that, but you still can't afford food, and you're still paying tax that you can't afford, and you're still living, actually surviving with little or nothing. Not living. But you get fooled. You're fooled. And so in the womb, it says every one of us, our soul prays to Bhagwan Vishnu. And what do we say to Lord Vishnu? Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Sing with me, everybody. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Bhagwan Vishnu entering into the womb of Uttara, Bhagwan Vishnu begins to shield this unborn baby. And so shielding the unborn baby spends a lot of time in conversation with Bhagwan Vishnu. Isn't it strange? Unborn spending a lot of time with Bhagwan, but born, and the minute you hear God and prayers and temple and puja and mosque and church, headache, knee pain, no clothes to wear, no ride. The minute you hear party, fete, wedding, farewell, cooking night, you didn't get invited and you still reach first. Strange. Isn't it strange? The minute you hear Thursday satsang, you already know Thursday you have a fever. You already know. You already know Thursday the children will work late. Because that is no priority. There are many temples, and there are many churches, and there are many mosques that you could check the amount of people that attend on finger. They are just buildings and structures. A murti doesn't make it a temple or a mandir. Do you know that? Not because there are murtis there means that is a temple or a mandir. But it's you attending and going to that place and praising and eulogizing Bhagwan that makes that into a temple, a place of worship. The minute you hear temple and you hear murti, everybody wants to rush to buy a murti, isn't it? And then you go and you put it down. And that's exactly what you do, you know. Put it down. Because you never go there to look for the murti. You never bathe the murti. You never buy clothes for the murti. You never do anything for the murti. You don't know if the murti, there is a light lighting in front of the murti. You know nothing. A stranger has to go and light the lamp in front of the murti that you put there. And that's what you did, You put it there. but generations before you and generations after you receive merits out of the actions that you have performed. The Bhagwat Katha says that 7 generations before us and 7 generations after us receive the merits out of us performing this kind of yajna. And so, having a lot of conversation, Bhagwan Vishnu protected the child in the womb. And Bhagwan Vishnu took the form of Krishna while protecting the child. The child could see and recognize Krishna. And so, as a child was born, this child will now be the grandson of a being whose name is Arjuna. Arjuna, whose name is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. And so this child being born, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. ब्राह्मणों की वानप्रस्थे किया उनकार का नाम विष्णु रखा का जानते चरते हैं. The Brahmanas, the holy beings, they were surprised that this baby survived the astra. For they all knew what had happened. And no news spread like bad news. You all know that? Something good happen and you'll never know, isn't it? Something bad happened. I'll give you an example. You came here this evening and you're looking very beautiful. Chances are nobody will recognize you. But if there is a hole in your outfit, everybody will remember you every time they see you. That's the lady who had the burst in her dress. If the sole from your shoe falls out and you have to hop and walk, everybody will remember you. That is happy. Huh? But if that didn't happen, then nobody remembers you. Isn't that true? Isn't that a fact? Everybody knows that the astra would have been shot. And everybody knows that by some kind of jadoo, some kind of magic, some kind of miracle, this child was protected in the womb. And the only thing that they can think about is that this child was protected by Bhagwan Vishnu. So when the Brahmanas came to give the name to the child, now listen, the Brahmanas came to give the name to the child. We name the children because we like the name. Shahrukh Khan. We like the name. But what is the symbolism behind the name? What is the energy behind the name? Nobody knows, isn't it? And so, they named the child Vishnurat. Vishnurat means the one who was protected in the womb by Bhagwan Vishnu. Vishnurat. They named him. And so naming him this, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. परमात्मने नमः. बच्चा उचरे का गर्भे का जिसमें कृष्णा की मिलन होते करने वाले, कृष्णा की संपत्ति का हो गए तथा करने वाले, हो गया तत्ते करने वाले. In the womb of his mother, Vishnurat developed a very close relationship with Bhagwan Krishna. But when Vishnurat was born, Vishnu Raj, he now started to search for that being that he met in the womb of his mother. He started to search for that being. And so everybody he will come into contact with, he will question them and try to have the very same questions and discussions that he had while in the womb of the mother, to see if he will meet with this Krishna again. Have you ever met with somebody nice? And you take it for granted that the next time you go to that place that you're going to, you'll meet somebody nice again. And you go and you meet somebody totally opposite. A security guard in the hospital, they're the worst. I say that with no apology. You're already frustrated because you have sick relatives. You're already frustrated because you don't know what is happening. You're already frustrated because just getting to the hospital is a frustration. And then you go and you meet these loving people who have no consideration. I don't know if they are trained that way, or if they choose a bunch of people who are born under the same sign and moon. I don't know what criteria they use to hire these people. I have no clue. But I have never met a nice one before. I don't know about you. And that's a fact, it's the truth. I go in the night to read the Gita in Mount Hope for my uncle a few days ago. And I look at the security and I said, well, he's very sick, and the doctors asked that the Pandit come, so I'm here to read the Gita. How I know you're a Pandit? And I'm wearing a kurta and a dhoti. I said, well, do I look like I'm playing juvie? Well, how will I know you're a Pandit? Well, if you're a Pandit, you could say the prayers from here and it will reach him there. I say, be careful, because I know the prayers. And be careful, I stand here and I say the prayers, and what's supposed to happen to him happened to you. And she smiled, but it is a fact. It is the truth. She's saying, if God is powerful, why don't you stand right here and pray? Why do you have to go to his bedside? And such is the inconsideration. My aunt just left to go to London, and I'm saying that, why don't you carry some anchar? And why don't you carry some red mango? And she said, no, last time I went, they take everything and they throw it away. And so I don't want to carry nothing to get in trouble. I called her today and I said, how was the trip? She said, no, they didn't check me. I could have well bring the mango. I could have well carried the anchar. Son, they didn't check me at all. And I'm afraid, and I didn't carry anything. And I said, good for you. She said, meet somebody nice. Not every time we'll meet somebody nice. Not every time we'll come into contact with somebody who is truthful. Not every time we will build relationship with people who really love or consider you the way you consider them. But it doesn't define who you are. Those things define who they are. You must continue to be the best you that you can be. And that's a lesson I'm learning now. For myself. He questions every being around, trying to find Krishna, trying to find this being that he met in the womb. And so, unable to do this, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. परीक्षित आदि की करने वाले परीक्षा का सभी का देने वाले. Every being around, they knew about this child and they knew what he did when he came into contact with them. And so Vishnu Raj, his name will now be changed. And so his name will be changed after a word called Pariksha. Pariksha means test. He's testing everybody to see if they're Krishna. So because he's testing everybody, they change his name from Vishnu Raj to Parikshit. Pariksha, Parikshit. They name him Parikshit. And so Parikshit is born in this dynasty where he will be the king, he will be the ruler, he will be the leader. So Vishnu Raj now has the name Parikshit because he tests everybody he comes into contact with. Do you know there are some people, you judge them based on the qualities that they possess? There is one person Swami refers to as Pakande. There is one person he refers to as Totande. There is one person he refers to as Prede. There is one lady called Suraj Day. And everybody, he classed them based on his interpretation of them, based on what his idea of them is. And he gives the Rasi, he gives the name. He's a Brahmin, so he gives the name. He's wearing the Janeu. From today, he's wearing the Janeu. All of the men folk of the group, they're wearing the Janeu from today. Such is the seriousness of the vow that we have made to perform worship in the Bhagavad. And so having the name Parikshit, what will happen? Vishnu, he now got this name, and so everybody knew him as Parikshit. And so he got married to Revati. And so getting married, what will happen? Parikshit, listen to it, gives a description of Parikshit. I'm going to tell in very short. Parikshit ka dene wali ki char putra hute karne wali, janmi jay ka sabhi ka ma putra ka janmi jay tata karne wali, Parikshit ka gyan ni karne wali, de ashwamed ka yakya gorbed ka karne wali, deko ka Parikshit ke guru सचिक्षा का करने वाले, सचिक्षा का करने वाले, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. It says the guru of Parikshit, his name was Kripacharya. And it says Parikshit performed many Ashwamed Yagyas. He performed many Yagyas. This is the Yagya, Ashwamed, where they set the horse free and they do the yagya, and the only way you could deem the yagya being a success is when you can go and find the horse. Wherever the horse has roamed and gone, then you find the horse and you bring it back, and so it shows the success of the yagya. In some other schools of thought, talking about this yagya is where the horse is beheaded, and so by chanting the various mantras and building the energy out of the yagya, then the horse is brought back to life because of the energy. And many different descriptions are given about the Ashwamed yagya. Parikshit, he had performed many of these yagyas. And so performing these yagyas, his Guru Kripacharya officiated at all of these yagyas. And so Parikshit had char putra. He had 4 sons, but he loved one the most. And his son that he loved the most, his name was Janami Jai. Janami Jai was the most favored of his 4 sons. You know, mother and father, you don't have to answer. But when you have more than one children, you always favor one more than the other. And that's a fact, is the truth. I know I have a brother and my mother loves him more than me. She's not here, I could say that and get away with it. But if she was here, then I'll be in trouble. And so there is always a competition among the children about who mother and father loves the most. And that's a fact, it is the truth. Once there is more than one children and favor is given to the other child more than you, then you think that the mother loves that child more than you. And that's a fact, this is the truth. Isn't it? Well, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And so, performing all of these, it says Parikshit, he became the successor of the Pandavas. After the Pandavas left, you know the Pandavas, right? The Pandavas, they are who again? Who are the Pandavas? Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, Yudhishthir and Arjuna. After they would have left for the heavens, then Parikshit becomes the king. He becomes the leader. Let me pause. Only after they have left to go to the heavens, then he becomes the... Do you know people don't like you really, but they like what you have? Do you know people don't like you really, but they like what you can do for them? Do you know people don't really like you, but they like what you could give them and what you can do for them? Well, if you didn't know, I want to tell you. You're only worth what you can give or what you can do. Oh, that's what you are classed as. The minute you don't have, then you are considered to be inferior. Well, not in the Ganesh Utsav Foundation. And I want to tell you that with no apology. This group is about bhakti. Not what you have and not what you can give, but it's about devotion. It is about us preparing our souls to stand in front of our Maker. That is what it is about. And so, Parikshit, he becomes the Raja, he becomes the king only when they leave to go to the heavens. When somebody dies, where do you say they went to? Hello? When somebody dies, whether who dies, whether what are the circumstances of death, whether how they died, whether what kind of life they lived, what do you say? What did you say? What do you say? Are you all awake? Today is just day one, you can't be tired. What do you say? You say that person went to, isn't it? But while you're living in real hell, imagine you have to be dead to go heaven and to enjoy heaven. Why is that so? Why can't we enjoy heaven and bliss now while we're alive? Why can't we? Why do you have to be dead to enjoy a place called heaven? I don't know about you. I don't want to go heaven because you have to be dead first, huh? And I don't think I'm ready. I've officiated at countless funerals. I can't begin to explain. I've officiated at funerals. Some of them I've only seen them on the day that they died. Actually, some of them I didn't even see them on the day of the funeral. COVID and in a bag and in a seal box, and you don't know what they look like, you don't know what they sound like, you don't know anything about them. And I have to stand up in the funeral and say, well, let us pray for the soul of our good, noble Papa. And in their mind they say, Baba, you know that man? And let us pray that God will bless his soul. Baba, that man never prayed in his whole life. And let us beg Bhagwan and Baba, if you only know. I officiated at a funeral, and I think this is most hilarious. I should share this with you. And after the funeral was done, the lady who died, she died with COVID. Her sister called me and she said, Pandit, how did they find you to do the funeral? And I said, well, I don't know. I have no clue. They just called, and a funeral I never say no to. I never say no to a funeral. Whether who dies, whether when they die, whether how they died, whether where they died, whether I'm in no position to judge, so I never say no to a funeral. Never. Whether where it is, whether how it is, I never say no. And I said, why? She said, well, that's my sister, Baba. But every time I saw you on the television and I call her and I say, look, Pandit Sunil on the TV, she said, me, I want to see he. I don't like he. She said, Pandit, when I saw you inside of there, I almost fainted. I said, why? She said, all I'm thinking about, she probably rolling inside that box. She said, you think she'll be upset you did the funeral? I said, well, let me tell you something. I probably don't know to do plenty things. But when I do your funeral, you're dead and you're dead. And I make sure you're dead. And I say, and she, whether she like me or she don't like me, that's not up to me. That's up to her. It only affected her. She says, so now you know that you will do the bandara. Why should I be upset with a lady who is already dead? Tonight, you and I, we should not be upset with people who have done wrong to us, but don't consider them to be dead. It is wrong. Parikshit, this king, he only becomes king when the Pandavas, they die. And so now he sits on the throne as the king. But sitting on the throne as the king, listen to what the Bhagwat Mahapuran says. Narayan Narayan Om Satya Narayan 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 Om Narayan Narayan Om Satya Narayan Narayan Om Satya Narayan Narayan Om Om Jai Sadguru Deva. नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात्। एक दिन जंगल में यात्रा करने वाले, जिसमें का बहुत का प्यास उन्होंने का समीक ऋषि का श्रम की कथा करने वाले देख और प्रवेश की का उत्तरा का पीड़ित करने वाले, पीड़ित का करने वाले श्री परमात्मने नमः। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम। ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम। ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
One day, after now being the king that governs this place, Parikshit, he goes into the forest. And so wandering into the forest, sitting on his horse, riding and enjoying the scenery and in the forest, Parikshit suddenly, he becomes very thirsty. Have you ever felt thirsty before? Ever felt thirsty before and you have money in your pocket but you can't buy anything with it? Can you drink the money? Would you be able to drink your money? Do you know much people? They're hungry and they're thirsty and they have money and they wouldn't buy anything to eat and drink. They're saving their money. And you know who will enjoy the money? The daughter-in-law you don't like. That's the one that will get everything. The person who did nothing for you and showed no love and no affection for you, that's the one that will inherit everything. And you're depriving yourself and saving for when you get old and when you get sick and poor you dead and you don't even know. You want something to eat, it is a necessity. Get something to eat. You want something to drink, it is a necessity. Get it to drink. You need something to wear, that is a necessity. Buy something nice. Wear your nice clothes while you're alive. When you're dead, you know what they buy for you? You know what they put on for you? Huh? You know what they will put on for you? Well, I don't know what they will put on for me. I already kind of hinted and indicated based on my experience of what can happen. I don't know what will happen, but I kind of hinted what should happen in my demise. Although while I'm living, they said to me, you can't get what you are saying. I don't know what will happen if their conscience will bother them when I'm dead and they might follow my instructions. I don't know. While out in the forest, Parikshit, he feels very thirsty. And so while on his horse, he goes in search of something to drink. But Parikshit stumbles on an ashram. He stumbles on a kutya. The kutya of a being whose name is Samik Rishi. And so Samik Rishi is an old Rishi. And Samik Rishi is in meditation. He's praying. Have you ever met Antipam? Before the puja starts, Antipam, during the puja, after the puja, and you say, Antipam, you didn't sleep today? She said, I didn't sleep in the prayers. I was meditating. I tapped into this super energy. And so I was connecting spiritually. But to do this, my eyes have to be closed and my head have to nod sometimes. Parikshit feels thirsty. And so Parikshit stumbles on the ashram of Samik Rishi. And stumbling on this ashram of Samik Rishi, Parikshit comes off his horse. And so he pays homage, he pays obeisance to Samik Rishi by bowing. It is the duty to bow when you see the holy people. It is the duty. It is a duty to pay obeisance to the holy people. It is your duty. Duty above all. Scripture has declared that in places of cremations and places of burial, you're not supposed to bow. So in that instance, you put your hand together and you bow your head. You pay obeisance, showing respect. But Dynamite Pandit, I don't know who he is. That's not up to you. You show respect. Well, I didn't know he before he was a Pandit, but he didn't know you too. For you to know him and for him to know you and for you to know the bad qualities he had, you couldn't be too good, huh? Because to know bad, you have to know about bad, isn't it? And so Samik Rishi is in deep meditation. And so Parikshit, what will happen? Thirsty as thirsty will be. Listen, it tells us. Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva. परमात्मने नमः। उन्हों का ऋषि का गर्भे ध्यान का प्याग करने वाले, उन्हों का बारंबार समी का ध्यान करने वाले, लिसके जवी का मिल गया होते करने, सरंजित का देने वाले, हे श्री परमात्मने नमः। Parikshit, bowing to the feet of Samik Rishi, Parikshit begins to have a conversation with Samik Rishi. And Parikshit begins to talk to Samik Rishi. And after having a prolonged conversation with Samik Rishi, Parikshit realizes that Samik Rishi is paying no heed to him. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody who is paying you no mind, no heed? Ever talking to somebody who, your husband or maybe your wife, and then in the middle of the conversation you hear a snore? And then you wake them up and you say, so which part of the conversation you hear and which part you didn't hear? And they say, oh, you're talking to me? I thought you were on the phone. I didn't know you were talking to me. You ever tried to have a conversation with one of your friends and they say, stop calling me. You're frustrating me. You only call people because you consider them, isn't it? You can't pick up your phone and call a random stranger. There are some people you call them and they say to you, what happened, you're bored? Why are you only calling me? Well, I want to tell you something. If ever I take up my phone and I call you, consider yourself to be blessed. Consider yourself to be blessed. Don't consider me to be bored, consider you to be blessed. You look at the phone and you see Facebook online, Messenger online, WhatsApp online, Instagram online, and any other gram. And you call and no answer comes. And then the next day they say, I was sleeping. And you say, but I'm seeing everything online. Well, my phone does automatically go online. Anytime I touch, and you know, they look at you like you follow from the sky, and you just hit your head hard on the ground, and you, something wrong with you. Like the screws get dismantled. And they make you feel as though you're foolish, you know. And then when they realize that you're on top of the game because you know you have to be in the app to show online, then they say, that is my time, yes, that is my quiet time. I don't really answer nobody and I don't want to talk to nobody in that time. That's my private time. Then what should you do? What will you do then? Never call back, huh? But then if you're good and godlike, then you say, you know what? Forgive them because you know, they don't know better. They don't know the genuine ones from the fake ones. They don't know. And while trying to find new ones, you throw away the genuine good ones that you know that you could hold on to, isn't it? So, Parikshit, trying to have the conversation with Samik Rishi, no reply will come. And so this makes Parikshit upset. It makes him angry. When you're talking with somebody, you expect them to reply, isn't it? And when they don't reply, then you become... You don't get upset when somebody don't reply? Auntie Angie, when you're having a conversation with Papa and he don't reply, what you say? What you do? You say, he really don't hear good, you know. Isn't it strange? People hear conveniently, you know. There's some people, you talk to them and they don't hear at all. And there's some people, you ain't talking to them and they're hearing everything. Huh? I always tell the joke that the Swami said, you know, the grandmother is talking to the grandfather who is the old Pandit. And she go in the airs and she say, I want $5 to buy ice cream for the children. He say, I want $5 to buy ice cream for the children. I want $5 to buy ice cream for the children. So she go to the next day. I want $20 to buy ice cream for the children. He said, go back by the $5 yes. Huh? Go back by the $5 yes. Not the $20 yes. Because you hear what you want to hear conveniently, isn't it? Samik Rishi is in meditation, he's praying. Samik Rishi has no time to listen to anything. He's praying. When we pray, nothing should disturb us. When we are praying, we should not allow any forces around us to tamper with our devotion. We should be engrossed in our devotion. We should find some kind of mode or some kind of method or some kind of bhajan or something that will help us to connect. And so while we are connecting, we connect solely. We put aside phone and we put aside computer and we put aside everything. And so we dedicate that time to Bhagwan, to God. A few days ago, I called Parvi and I said, we are having the puja and I want you to bring some flowers. She said, I can't bring none, you know. I said, why? But you have so much flowers tree all over the place. So much different kinds. And she said, well, my husband has picked everything but the leaf. And he's prayed for hours. And he offering by all the murti. Everywhere, inside, outside. And so we have no flowers. And in my mind I said, you think he will go to heaven before me? You think he will get mukti, salvation, before me? Tonight, Parikshit, after recognizing that he's being ignored, Parikshit becomes upset. He becomes angry. Nobody likes to be ignored. And if you try to ignore me, when I call you, I will call you 1,000,000 times after that. You know that? Not because I want to call you, you know, but because I want to aggravate you. And consider that to be a blessing too, eh? Because I have to really like you to do you that. I have to really have considered, and I'm confessing that. Look at where I'm confessing that. I have to really like you. But you could ignore me 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I give you a few times. But after that, when I start to ignore you, then is when you're in trouble. Tonight, Parikshit, seeing Samik Rishi, and Samik Rishi ignoring him, Parikshit becomes upset. And becoming upset, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, 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 Om Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om Jai Sadguru Deva. ऋषि का ध्यान करने वाले, देखो समीका ऋषि का भगवान के उन्होंने का प्रार्थना करने वाले, जिसमें पहले के राजा परीक्षित का उन्हों का क्रोध क्रोधिया करने वाले, जिसने का संपत्ति का देने वाले, देखो घर में दिया करने वाले, बार में जब ऋषि का श्रृंगी का नाद करने वाले, जिसमें का सुनता उन्होंने का राजा करने वाले, राजा करने। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Raja Parikshit, thirsty and already frustrated and angered by no reply of Samik Rishi, Raja Parikshit turned and he was about to leave, upset, angry. How do you feel when people are upset with you, when they are angry with you? Hello? How do you feel when people are upset, they are angry with you? Well, in the past, I used to be very, very worried when I know you're upset with me. But you see, as you get older, you recognize that, you can't please everybody all the time. And whether how much good you do, there will be a day when you can't do what is being requested of you. And so it might bring about some kind of upset. But just know that it doesn't define who you are. Because we can't please everybody all the time. Raja Parikshit, angry, he turns and he's walking out. And Raja Parikshit stumbles on a dead snake. If you see a dead snake, what will you do? I don't know about you, living or dead, it is called a snake. You're not seeing me near it. We go to the petting zoo, maybe just before COVID, and everybody is holding the snake and they say, come hold it. I say, no, not me. They say, well, take the picture now, make yourself useful. I say, not even me. I don't want nothing to do with the snake. I'm not holding the snake. You will never see me in any picture holding any snake. Actually, you might see me in a picture with snakes, but not the kind that crawl. The kind that walk and laugh and talk and say, kuchi, kuchi, ku. I need you. And then the minute you can't, then you know what happened? They become venomous. They attack you and destroy you and say all the worst things about you, and that's a fact, is the truth. Ever had to go in Facebook or some other app to try and delete pictures that you had with somebody because you no longer talk to them? Well, I don't know about you, I don't have no time for that kind of thing. I don't delete anybody, and I might block you for 10 minutes and then my conscience say you're not like that and I unblock you. My conscience, because I have one of that. Because the ethics that I have is different. The way I was brought up is different. It is strange. I was brought up in a home where other people were brought up, but I don't know what they learned. But I know what I learned in that environment, in that place. Raja Parikshit, blinded by anger, he lifts up the dead snake and he goes and he wraps it around the neck of Samik Rishi like a mala. He puts it like a mala around the neck of Samik Rishi. What if somebody bring a dead snake and put it around your neck? What will you do? Well, here, I want to tell you about me. I just had a sneaky snake and I might be dead too. Just like the snake. Living or dead. Placing the snake around the neck, Samik Rishi is in meditation and so he is not affected. He is not affected, he pays no heed. And so Raja Parikshit goes about his business. And Samik Rishi has this snake around his neck as an ornament, like a mala. And then, what will happen? समी का पुत्र करने वाली, सुनतो का राजा की श्राप करने वाली, जिसमें का श्रृंगी ऋषि का वचन करने वाली, जिसमें पहली का नाम तक्षक का होने करने वाली, होने का करने वाली. Just then, news spread everywhere that Shringi Rishi is pretending to be Lord Shiva. But the only difference is, he's a coward. He put a dead snake. Lord Shiva has a living snake around his neck. He's a coward. People see you and people laugh at you and people talk about you, but nobody knows your circumstances. Nobody knows your situation. Nobody knows your frustration. Nobody knows what you are going through. Nobody knows about the mental anxiety that you have and how affected you might be. Nobody knows. But they see you and they judge you still. And so this son, Samik Rishi, comes and his name is Shringi. And so Shringi Rishi, news spread that your father is a coward and he has a dead snake around his neck, not a living one. And so coming there, Shringi Rishi, he's upset, he's angry. He takes the dead snake off the neck of the father and he gives a name to the snake. If you have a snake, what will you name it? What will you name the snake? He names the snake Takshat. He says Takshat, the snake, will come to life. And whomsoever has placed the snake around the neck of my father has 7 days to live. For this very snake will cause the demise, the death of that person. Listen to the sharp. And these beings are powerful beings. These beings, they are holy beings. So that when they speak, their words brings forth fruits. Have you ever heard? It's from the lip of the Pandit to the ears of Bhagwan. Have you ever heard that before? Have you ever heard never bad talk the Baba? You ever hear that before? Ever heard that before? And so, placing the snake there, now the sun gives this sharp, and he says that the snake will come alive, and in 7 days, that being who placed the snake will die. Shringi immediately opens his eyes and he says, "Oh Murk, oh fool, don't you know this snake was placed here by Raja Parikshit? And when Raja Parikshit will die, then the age of Kali will begin, the dark age will begin. And so suffering will come, poverty will come, distress will come. Why did you place a shrap like that? We must go to Raja Parikshit and tell him at once." How would you go to tell somebody that they have 7 days to live? If somebody comes to you and say you have 7 days to live, what will your reaction be? What will you do? What will you do? Shiva, you have 7 days to live. What will you do? You'll go to the police station and say, "You see that Pandit? He threatened me. He has something planned, and in 7 days, he's going to do something to me. And I think I will die." And the police say, "Well, what did he say to you?" And you say, "Well, he told me I only have 7 days. That's what he told me." And they say he didn't say anything more. And you say, "Well, I really didn't wait to hear nothing more, you know. I just hear 7 days and today is day 1. So now I have 6 more. Well, I have news. If it's Trinidad police, you might be dead and they didn't come to look for me yet." Samik Rishi and Shringi Rishi, both of them, they go to meet with Raja Parikshit. And now they go to explain to Raja Parikshit what has happened. They go to explain to him what will happen. And so, as they stand in front of Raja Parikshit, listen to what they say. "इतना तू करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले, गोविंद नाम भले कर, फिर प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तू करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले, गोविंद नाम लेकर, फिर प्राण तन से निकले." They now explain to Raja Parikshit what has happened. And so, Samik Rishi, he is repenting for the actions and the words that he has uttered, but there is nothing he can do to take back these words. And so Raja Parikshit, hearing that he has 7 days to live, hearing it from these powerful beings, Raja Parikshit knows that it is true. Raja Parikshit now has to devise a way, or to plan, or to plot a way that he will spend his final 7 days existing as a human being. What will you do in your final days existing if you know that you're going to die? What will you do? What will you do? Hello? I'll ask Parvi to make a few chocolate cake. What will you do? I will ask Nadira to make some pasta. What will you do? I'll tell Auntie Angie, make some pot bake. Feed me while I'm living because I don't want no food behind the house when I'm dead. I'll call Kusum and say, make some chai and dokla and some raita. But then Kusum only makes for me bodhi and bread. Every time I go to her home, I'm privileged to eat bodhi and toast bread. Every time. I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing, I don't know. But that's okay. Feed me while I'm living. Feed me when I could eat the bread with this mouth. Because I don't know where my soul will be when I die and if I will really get the bodhi. I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. Raja Parikshit has 7 days to live. Tonight I want to tell you that all of us, every one of us, we have 7 days to live. 7 days to live. Because in any given day, any given Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday, in any given month, in any given year, at any given time, we could die. Do you know that? So it's any week, any day, any month, and any year, we could mar gaya. Have you ever heard that word before? Ask Santi Pam, she'll tell you what it means. We could die. So we must live every day as though it is our last. I've officiated at so much funerals that now my birthday is in the month of June. Ari is celebrating her birthday today, and every day somebody in the group is celebrating their birthday, and so it's a host of birthdays. But I'm not waiting till the month of June to stick a birthday cake. You all know that? Every Friday I stick in a birthday cake. I don't care what your interpretation of me is. If you think I'm greedy, if you think I'm fat, if you think I'm ugly, I don't care. I'm celebrating all of that. Because you know why? I have officiated at funerals of babies and older than the old. And in between too. And I have recognized that I could go anytime. I have recognized when one of my pundit friends could die with a Jack Spanier sting, how fragile life is. I have recognized that one of my aunties here, whose husband is a doctor looking after thousands and millions of people, when he could get COVID and die. And she could have COVID and not attend the funeral. I have recognized that I need to live. I have recognized out of that I need to enjoy every moment. I have recognized where the people who I love the most could call me and say, we have COVID, don't come, eh? Don't come. And though you love them, you're afraid that something will happen to you. And it's not that you don't care. It is not that you don't want to help. It is not that anything else. But it's that you could die too. Raja Parikshit has 7 days to live. And Raja Parikshit decides, you know what? In my 7 days, I will listen to the Bhagavad Katha. Raja Parikshit summons his guru and he says, Guru, you give the advice. Whom should I take to read or to expound the greatness of the Bhagavad? Tell me, I want to know. And the guru, he says, go and find that being whose name is Sukadev. Sukadeva Muni. Go and find Sukadev. And Raja Parikshit, he has such respect for the guru that the guru is saying to go and find Sukadev, and Sukadev is a child. He's a youth. He's a little child. Immature. Amateur. And so Raja Parikshit never questions that. He goes and he finds Sukadev Muni. And finding Sukadev Muni, he says, Sukadev Muni, you must now narrate the Bhagavad. Tell me, where should I sit? Where should I sit to listen to the Bhagavad? And Raja Parikshit says, you know what he says? Shri Ganga ji katak ho, Jamuna katak karaj ho, mere savara nikal ho, jab praan tan se nikale, itna tu karna swami. Jab praan tan se nikale. Sukadev Muni says, we'll go to the banks of the holy river. Because by sitting by the holy river, then if you were to die in that holy place, your soul will get mukti. We will chant the verses of the Bhagavad. And so chances are if you die while listening, your soul will get mukti. You will wear the chandan and all the holy auspicious marks. And so if you die while wearing these marks of auspiciousness, then your soul will get mukti. If you die while smelling and breathing the smoke of the Havan, then your soul will get mukti. If you die by eating of the bhog that has been offered to Bhagwan, that's why it is called Mohan. You all know that? If you eat of the bhog that has been offered to Bhagwan, your soul will get mukti, salvation. If you wear a piece of jewelry, a piece of gold, then your soul will get. That's why when you're done dead, they put the gold in you. Still praying and hoping that your soul will get mukti. But while you're living, you can't wear no gold. You know why? You can't wear gold. And don't worry, when you're dead, you're still getting too much. Because they're giving you the chunky piece. And And so Raja Parikshit, he now follows the instruction of Sukhdev Muni. And so preparations are made to listen to the Bhagavad Katha. Just like Raja Parikshit is preparing and Sukhdev Muni will narrate the Kathas, so too we will do the very same. Tonight, in the words of Sri Basdev Misir, it tells us, what does it say? Sukadev kahe muni gyani, suno bhup bhagavat bhani. Sukadev kahe muni gyani, suno bhup bhagavat bhani. Sukh dukh aavo jivan mara, सब आपन करन बरमाया, कोई करत नहीं किसका हानि, सुनो भूप भागवत वाणी. सुखदेव कहे मुनि ज्ञानी, सुनो भूप भागवत वाणी. Sukhdev Muni begins to tell like a jnani, like a person who has the wealth of knowledge. He begins to sit and explain the Bhagavad. Sukha dukha avo jivana mara. And so all this sorrow and all the happiness of the soul will be removed by listening to the Katha. Apana jivana mara. Praying for mukti, praying for salvation, praying for comfort and solace while alive and in death. यहाँ दुष्ट भाव जलदाना, बिन भजन होई निस्तारा. हरि नाम स्मरण सुखदाई, सुनो भूप भागवत वाणी. सुखदेव कहे मुनि ज्ञानी, सुनो भूप भागवत वाणी. सुखदेव कहे मुनि ज्ञानी, सुनो भूप भागवत वाणी. Tonight, Sukhdev Muni begins to narrate the Bhagavad Katha. From tomorrow morning, we would listen to the narrations of Sukhdev Muni. And so Sukhdev Muni begins with a beautiful Katha about Dharma. Dharma is about to stand in front of Bhagwan Vishnu. Who is Dharma? What form Dharma has taken? Why is he standing? What is he about to say? What will happen? Tomorrow morning we will listen to. I want to take this opportunity to invite you to come. It will be live on television for all sessions of the Bhagavad, but don't stay home. Come to the Yajna. Come and let us bask in the glory of listening to the Leelas of Bhagwan Vishnu. And if you could get some time off, take the time off and come and spend the entire day with us as we listen to the glories. Won't you not consider yourself to be blessed? In this week, there are public holidays. There is a public holiday on Thursday. It is called a Pandit holiday. That day is my birthday. There is something special planned for Thursday. Something that nobody knows what it is. There is something special planned for Thursday. Why you are looking at me like that? It's a surprise. We prepare to do the Havan now. Tomorrow morning, our hours of devotion, 9 to 11, then 2 to 4, and then 7 to 9. And so every day, from today, these are the hours of devotions. Come and join with us. Come and be a part of the Yajna. Looking on the television is no comparison to coming here and enjoying the ambience and the good food. The good food and the good company. I mean, it's me, after all. The good company. So, this evening we offer water around the fire as we prepare for the Havan. Om Sarva Paparam Devam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Majnimya Datta Griyana Parameshwara Griyana Parameshwaram. The pieces of wood. ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा इदं गात्रे इदं नाम मम ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा इदं गात्रे इदं नाम मम ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा इदं गात्रे इदं नाम मम ॐ प्रजापतये नमः स्वाहा ॐ श्रीन्द्राय नमः स्वाहा ॐ अग्ने नमः स्वाहा ॐ गं गणपतये नमः स्वाहा ॐ नमश्चण्डिका नमः स्वाहा ॐ दरिते गौरी माता नमः स्वाहा ॐ कलशवरुण देवता नमः स्वाहा ॐ इष्टदेवता नमः ॐ ग्रामदेवता नमः ॐ स्थानदेवता नमः ॐ दस्तिक्पालदेवता नमः ॐ सूर्यादिनोग्रदेवता नमः ॐ सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः ॐ हरिमर्कटमर्कटा नमः ॐ गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः ॐ सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः ॐ सर्वेभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमः ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दना मृत्योर्मुक्षमामृतात् ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः स्वाहा आचमन ॐ गंगेश्च यमुनेश्चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदा सिन्धु कावेरी आचमनीं प्रति ग्रहीतामाचमनीं समर्पयामि ॐ श्री विष्णवे नमः विफान्य स्मोक वनस्पतिर्सुरभूतो गन्धार्यो गणरूत्तमा आग्रे सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रति ग्रहीतां we all stretch our hands ॐ मण्डलाय नमः ॐ मण्डलाय नमः ॐ मण्डलाय नमः. This has brought us to the end of our devotions this evening. Let us all stand as we join in the closing arti. शुभं करोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदं मम शत्रो विनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते. जय जय भागवतम जय 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 भागवतम
जय 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 भागवतम जय 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 भागवतम
जय 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 भागवतम जय 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 भागवतम
जय 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 भागवतम जय 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 भागवतम
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती
जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती
अमर गंतये मुक्ति पंतये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंचये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
हरि गान ही वरदान यही जग की मंगल की आरती
पापियों को पाप से है तारती
जय जय भागवत भगवान की हे आरती।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
शांति दीप पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
ये शांति दीप पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
ये सुख करनी हे दुख हरनी,
ये सुख करने ये दुख हरने।
ये मधुसूदन की आरती।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय भागवत भगवान की हे आरती।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ये मधुर बोल जगपंत गोल, सनमार दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
ये मधुर बोल जगपंत गोल, सनमार दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, सबकी महिमा की आरती।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय जय भागवत भगवान की हे आरती।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय 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 भागवतम, जय 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 भागवतम।
जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 भागवतम।
जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 भागवतम।
जय 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 भागवतम। जय 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 भागवतम।
नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय।
नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय।
नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय।
ओम 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 नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय।
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 ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तरस्तमे। त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च शिखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। May there be peace in the heavens. May this peace be conveyed unto the earth. May there be peace in the waters that surround the islands of the world. May there be peace in the plant and the animal kingdom. May there be peace in that place where the souls of our Pitras they dwell. May there be peace within us and around us. May we all be peaceful souls, we pray. Dyo Shanti Antariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apa Shanti Oshre Shanti Vanaspate Shanti Vishwareva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Sama Shanti Riddhi Bhavatu. Om Shanti Om.
ओम शांति ओम
शांति
ओम शांति
उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, अयोध्या राम लला की जय, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, पुरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतने की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। शरणम सीताराम 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 कहे, जाहे बेहिरा के रामा, जाहे बेहिरा के रामा, काहे बेहिरा के। सीताराम 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 सीताराम। वृंदावन में हरिलाल की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की। Awesome. The arti will now come, the panchamrit will now come, the parsad will come. Please remain seated. I'm going to ask Rakesh to give my aunt a microphone. And so she will sing for us a bhajan this evening. And so she's formerly a Seetahal, but now she's a Rampal. And so she came all the way from Rio Claro. And so this evening, she's going to sing for us a beautiful rendition. She's a firm believer in Sai. And so I'm sure she's going to sing for us a Sai bhajan. And so we hand over the microphone to Mama. We want to remind you that our devotion continues tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And so it continues throughout the days. This evening also, I want to take this opportunity to wish Ari a very happy birthday, Ari. Many more birthdays to come. Happier ones. And Ari, this evening you're going to stick the cake with the person you're supposed to be sticking the birthday cakes with, Ashish. And so there is a birthday cake, and you're going to stick it with who you're supposed to stick it with, Ashish. And the cake is somewhere. I told them to bring the cake on the stage close to me, but you know, they always have their own interpretation of what should be. And she said to me, don't call her name. So I wouldn't tell you it's Kelly, but so Mama will sing for us the beautiful rendition. This evening I acknowledge the presence of Pandit Neil, and so we want to thank you for taking the time out to join with us and to bless the Yagya.
राम जपो पावड़े, राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े, 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 राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावरे,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावरे,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावरे,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावरे,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े,
राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावरे,
साईं राम जपो राम जपो राम जपो पावड़े,
साईं राम जपो राम जपो पावरे।
राम जपो राम जपो भावरे।
Sing again. But this time we'll sing not only for Bhagwan, Sai, but we'll sing for Ari as we celebrate her birthday.
It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Listen to the angels singing in the skies. Listen to the ocean waves dancing with joy. Listen to the birds singing in the trees. All of them singing happy birthday. It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ari. Happy birthday to you.
Clap, 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 everybody. So Sintra is going to sing something a little bit spicy for you, Ari. And so Ari is going to get up and dance for us. We want to wish you a happy, happy birthday and many more birthdays to come. It is admirable that she'll be here. She's in the middle of writing her examinations. And so when the Yagya was placed, tentatively the exams were supposed to be over by now, but our gracious minister changed the dates of the exams, and so, but nonetheless, they did not change the date of the Bhagwat, but she's still writing her examinations, and we want to wish her all the best and a happy, happy birthday, and we look forward to celebrating many more birthdays with you in prayer and in devotion. Ari, may Bhagwan bless you in a very special way. This evening I'm happy that we could have Shana with us. Shana, I want you to come every evening, and as much as you can in the day, I want you to come. Ram, Odit. So as much as you can. There are people who came early this morning and they're still here with us tonight. I want to thank you for coming and gracing us with your presence. And so we continue to glorify Bhagwan in a very special way. Tomorrow morning, again, our reading commences. It begins at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11, 2 to 4, and then again in the evening, 7 to 9. Auntie, I look forward to seeing you many other nights. And during the daytime, it is easy for you to drive and come. Rio Claro is right there, not quite there. And so I love you and I look forward to seeing you.
भावरा 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 रे, भावरा 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 रे, बाली में बिलम गए, ये भावरा रे बाली में बिलम गए, ये भावरा रे बाली में बिलम गए। भावरा 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 रे, भावरा 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 रे, बाली में बिलम गए, भावरा रे बाली में बिलम गए। केकर बेटी सीता करनवा, केकर बेटी सीता करनवा, केकर बेटी गौरा रे, केकर बेटी गौरा रे, बाली में बिलम गए, ये भौरा रे बाली में बिलम गए। भावरा राजा जनक जाके सीता करनवा, राजा जनक जाके सीता करनवा, राजा की मंजिल गौरा रे, राजा की मंजिल गौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए। बारी में बिलम गए। केकर बेटी सीता करनवा, केकर बेटी सीता करनवा, केकर बेटी गौरा रे, केकर बेटी गौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए। भौरा 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 रे, भौरा 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 रे, बारी में बिलम गए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए। नाम के प्याही सीता करनवा, नाम के ब्याही सीता करनवा, महादेव की गौरा रे, महादेव की गौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए ए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए। भौरा 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 रे, भौरा 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 रे, बारी में बिलम गए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए ए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए ए भौरा रे, बारी में बिलम गए।
Satya Sanatana Dharma ki jai. Meals will now be served, and meals will be served at the back. It is buffet, and so I encourage you, please stay and partake of the meals. We have prepared food especially for you, and it's our blessing to serve you. It is the only way that the yajna will be deemed to be successful, when you all can eat and bless us. And so please, everybody, nobody leaves without eating and blessing the yajna. Satya Sanatana Dharma ki jai. Until we meet tomorrow evening, Jai Jai Sitaram. Tomorrow morning.
Sankhya Television is not only the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, but Sankhya TV also has the most coverage. You can find Sankhya TV on Facebook by searching for